stuff will get transferred to error servers. Now, the interesting thing to keep in mind here, all those new greens and blues and all that stuff that you earn on SOD, you'll be able to sell the BOEs in error servers. And the BOE gear is probably going to be better than any error gear. So that's an interesting thing. Now, will they disable all trading for those new characters? But it's just something to keep in mind. I'm going to write this down real quick. Well, I didn't say it's going to exactly error servers that the ones that are already there. They very likely may do fresh error servers. There we go. They did say that, but I'm not sure what their plans are going to be because the dev team has said things before and then walked back on them. So no, again, I personally think that it is going to be fresh servers. Well, fresh wouldn't be the right word. New error servers. But it would be interesting if they did do this. Now, if they do that, be fucking funny, but they probably won't. But it is something to keep in mind that they could do that. Server infrastructure, money saving costs, Blizzard executives. I don't know how expensive it is to keep a server running permanently. That is a fair point, Exo. That is a fair point. So it likely won't happen. I kind of want it to happen personally, I'm not going to lie. I just think it would be entertaining. But you guys are probably right in the fact that it likely will not happen. I just think it would be interesting if it did. But ignoring that point then, we'll just keep going. SOD's going to be turned off. Everything's going to go to error, likely new error servers. It'll probably be 2 mega servers, 1 PvE, 1 PvP. So once that's done though, we know for a fact that they're going to do a new season, a new kind of season. My main curiosity in regards to that though is it going to be another SOD kind of server? If you guys understand what I'm saying is that we know we are getting new servers, or at least a new season, right? But are they going to do a more relaxed kind of season? Are we going to, instead of getting Season of Discovery, Season of Death, Chaos, Blood, whatever you want to call it, right? What if that season instead is something more akin to, like, what if it's just Season of Mastery, but slightly better? Because Season of Discovery has been amazing, but how quickly will people get tired of very aggressive and very new servers? Yeah, Rise of the Legion, TBC SOD could be very fun for a lot of people. I could absolutely see a lot of people loving that. One other thing I do have to cover before that though is New and different ways would be ideal. I'm curious how the MOP remix goes. The remix stuff is interesting too. Maybe they do remixes of other expansions instead of seasons. Damn, you started streaming so early today, I didn't even get to finish the interview yet. Go watch the interview and come back after. I'm not going anywhere. It's going to be a 3-4 hour stream probably. Maybe not that long, but around that time frame, that ballpark. There's a job like that's an interesting thing they could do. They could take the best features of every season and build that into the new classic baseline. That would be interesting if they did that. Would be an amazing thing to do, that each new season keeps building upon the quotation marks a new OG classic, if that makes sense. I don't know if they're gonna do that though. Am I playing MOP Remix on stream? I may play MOP Remix, but I'm gonna very quickly let my dog out. We are back. I just opened my door right there to let the doggo out. But like before I keep talking about seasons, I do want to clarify: no Wrath of the Lich King or TBC era servers for the foreseeable future. What does that mean? I know a lot of people want era, they want Wrath era or TBC era. I don't think anybody really wants Wrath era, but I know people really want TBC era. And they know people interested and they know people want it, but they're not doing it. At least not for now, at least not for a while. And I'm not sure why that is the case, but I assume it has something to do with like the Cataclysm client and all that stuff just not working correctly. So I just don't think they can go back and do things to make it work like that. So I think they do want to do it, but I think there's some server infrastructure problems at the back end of having several new clients all separate from each other. I'm sure they'll figure something out eventually to make it work. I'm just not sure what that something is that would allow it to work correctly. Because as it is right now, it's just a huge server infrastructure problem that's just not going to be solved anytime soon, because I don't think they think the effort is worth it in at least the short term. When folks get to the farming dailies and MOP remix, it'll die out. Probably will. I don't know how much effort they're going to put into MOP. For the classic player base, like the MOP remix team and the classic team are two separate teams. They're not the same players. Well, they're not the same developers. There might be some overlap here and there, but I'm pretty sure Agron doesn't oversee WoW Remix, and the WoW Remix team answers directly to the retail team. See, but Elmo, that's not actually true, because in my interview, they said they want to make a version of WoW for everybody. They want to give people all the ways they want to play WoW to be able to play it. So, on paper, they may not want to divide the player base, but there's already 7 versions of World of Warcraft. So I don't think that's the main reason. I just genuinely think it's server infrastructure issues. WoW SOD SQL servers need to be restarted for real. The random zone ping spikes is crazy as fuck right now. I actually have noticed a bit of lag randomly in the open world on SOD. Doesn't happen often, but I do get hit with it every now and then. So that is an interesting point. I would like them to build up on the incursion zoning tech, release content as an event every few months, making old zone scale to a new challenge with new rewards. That would be smart. That might be like a new thing they do in one of the other seasons. Like, for example, just going on to Season of Death. What do you mean by turn off? Clarification, please. Will WoW Remix have their own servers, or will they use the same retail servers? WoW Remix is not on the classic client. WoW Remix is on retail. So if I bring up battle.net and I go to games and I go to Warcraft, WoW Remix is on World of Warcraft Live. So we are likely getting that on, yeah, MOP Remix is retail. When I say turn off, I mean for SOD and seasonal content. So for example, they can at any point flip a switch and turn off runes. And all runes get disabled. Just right off with a single button. Single button is like paraphrasing drastically. It's not just that they go hit the button, the rune button on the wall, and runes will get turned off. But with Classic and the way they explained it, they can isolate things much easier in comparison to retail. So, Jules, I didn't ask. This was a Cataclysm interview. My questions had to stay, at least for the most part, focused on Cataclysm. I tried to go more general, more classic, in the classic overall with my questions rather than just Cataclysm, but this was a Cataclysm interview. I am hoping the next interview I get invited for, if I get invited to one, I would love to have another interview. It was amazing to talk to the devs and get to like hear their responses and just have them answer my questions. I would love for the next interview I get invited to, if I get invited to one, to be about Season of Discovery, Phase 4, the future of Classic, the future of SOD. Again, debatable if I'll get invited to one. I have shamelessly just asked anyway. I appreciate it though. I think I could have done that. I could have put them on the spot, but I feel like that would have been rude to the developers because, again, it's not up to them to decide when things are coming or whatever. But I would have loved to ask them that. But I feel like if I had asked them that, I would have put them on the spot and probably got myself blacklisted. They probably would have just said, anyways, can't say anything right now. Our lips are sealed. So, I gave them the question I was gonna ask. It was a list of questions. We talked about it, yada yada yada. And I only had 30 minutes, by the way. So the interview is interesting. You get 30 minutes to have an interview, and that 30 minutes is very much like just a factual. The timer hits and they gotta go to the next interview. You gotta realize they're interviewing in the span of 1 week. They're interviewing gaming magazines, they're interviewing content creators, they're interviewing what questions did you write but skip? Yeah, I can show people. Yeah. I can show you guys some of the questions I didn't ask. So here, I'm gonna read one of the questions that I didn't have time to ask. With the addition of Chrono Boon and classic player base's divided fondness of world buffs, is there any possibility of world buffs being implemented in Cataclysm? So that was an interesting question. I didn't get time for it. Many people, another question I had was, many people expected Classic to stop at Wrath of the Lich King. So what was the main decision that led to Cataclysm Classic? Again, they did kind of answer that in the fourth question I had. So that was kind of like a repeat question asking for more detail. So that one I skipped for that reason. In terms of progression, many players felt stifled by the length of Ulduar and ICC in Wrath of the Lich King Classic. With Cataclysm Classic having a much faster phase release, what made that drastic change from 2 years to 12 months? And what was the reasoning behind that change? So that was what my third question was meant to be, but I completely fucked up my third question. So when I asked the third question, instead of asking them what I wanted to ask, I fucked it up. I started the question and it came out so stupid. I'm so upset about the third question. Again, this is the first time I've done an interview. I've been in interviews before, I've hired people before, you know, all that stuff. I've been hired, all of that. So it wasn't foreign to me. But being the person conducting an interview for like content where the world's gonna be watching, that kind of threw me for a loop and I screwed up the question. The question three was so stupid. Like I get upset when I listen to that question. I'm just like, fuck, that's not what I meant. God damn it. But let me see. There's some more questions here. Will arenas have the added change of solo queue, or is that something outside the scope of Cataclysm Classic? Because solo queue is a relatively new thing. Another question I had that was a cool one that I would have loved to have time for them to answer. What is one thing you've learned from the development of Classic through TBC and Wrath of the Lich King Classic that has helped with making Cataclysm Classic? And what is that thing that if you knew now would have improved on previous versions of the Classic game? That was a good question. I feel like that one would have had a very interesting answer. Because I do wonder with like the server build up, the infrastructure, just the basic development pipeline, what like thing did they learn that if they could have gone back and implemented from the beginning would have made the game much better? Another one I had was, will there be any changes to certain classes and specs that don't have a good capstone talent or feel lackluster in comparison to other classes and specs? Asking about improvements is tough because they would have to admit failures. Well, no, it's like there was a lot of interesting questions on that list. Like there was a lot of them, and I do know that asking them certain questions would have probably led to like a kind of a stall or a we can't answer that. I have to get back to the team and discuss that. So certain questions wouldn't have worked well, right? Like don't get me wrong, I would have loved to have had 10 in-depth classic SOD questions or classic plus questions or about how they view that working, what would they do, what is their thought process. But I'm hoping that because this interview has done well, like how many, I don't know, let me see. Here is it. It's got 6.3k views here. It's got actually more views than that, mind you. Let me actually see what it's at right now, because this update's a lot slower than my own analytics. I think I'm at 8.8 thousand views. Yeah, a lot of comments though. Like that, this shit's even banging out like comments and like likes and all of that shit. Yeah, but it is what it is. The interview was great, but I would have loved to have done an interview just about SOD. And because this is doing well, mind you, because it's getting views, it's doing well, the player reception is positive, people seem to like it and enjoy it, I'm hoping that that leads to them saying, yo, Eben, your interview did really well. Would you like to come do another one? Because I know everyone is dying to know about Phase 4. And trust me, guys, I'm right there with you. Look at me, I'm literally a crack addict. So I completely understand. But yeah, great job on the video. I like that you had them explain what Classic meant to them. It means just that the client version for the most part and that specific version theme. Yeah, they chose not to give a hard line on what Classic means to them. But based on the way they described it, I feel like Cataclysm is the last version of Classic, at least for the vast majority. I feel like for someone like the people that have been playing since Vanilla, Classic ends with Vanilla WoW. And then TBC is, for some people it's TBC, for some people it's Wrath. And I feel like for most people, Cataclysm is the final classic expansion. And they didn't draw any lines themselves on what is classic. But I think for most people, classic is Cataclysm at its latest. At least that would be my opinion on the finality of what is classic. I didn't like their definition of classic because by their logic, Shadowlands could be someone's classic. In 20 years, Shadowlands will be classic. Or 14 years, 18 years. Yeah, in 18 years, Shadowlands will be classic. Does that suck to hear? Absolutely. But if we're basing the definition of classic off of time of release, then it doesn't make sense that something released in 2010 would be the final definition of classic now. But within 2 years, Mr. Pandaria will also be classic. And then every 2 years from there, that next expansion will be classic. So in 4 years, WoD is classic. In 6 years, Legion. In 8 years, BFA. In 10 years, Shadowlands. In 12 years, Dragonflight. So it's interesting. Classic ends at Wrath. I personally agree, Giga Chat. I do think Wrath of the Lich King is the end of classic. At least that's my opinion on that situation. And I suppose with the MOP remix and Kata launching, we're gonna get no news. So we're not going to get any news because I thought about this before. When is next Thursday, actually? Let's see. Yeah. That's kind of rough. Hair is looking fresh. Thank you, Miskas. I did get a haircut just for the interview. I literally was hoboing it out for weeks. And then I had an interview. So I had to go get a haircut and look presentable. I'm just gonna start saying the Vanilla Trilogy. Yeah, that is fair. The Vanilla Trilogy is a good way of putting it, absolutely. Am I doing archaeology? No. Do I care about achievements? No. Do I want a quest to level? No. I have done all the content before on Kata. Why am I playing it? Because there's no Classic Plus and retail is shit. So Ross, that's quite a few people's opinions. And I do agree with that. Like, I'm not a big retail fan. The War Within does look good though. And Cataclysm isn't boring. It's buggy, but it's actually not a bad expansion. All things considered, I guess. I spelled that incorrectly. Hemorrhage. How the fuck do you write hemorrhage? Am I retarded? I wrote it correct the first time. I fucked it up by doubting myself. Okay, let me read chat real quick. I wasn't looking at chat while I was typing this out. I need dark mode. Where the fuck is dark mode? Chrome dark mode. Fuck is this? At the bottom right of a new tab page, select Customize Chrome. The fucking bottom? What? There is no bottom on YouTube. It's infinite scrolling. Okay. That doesn't help. That doesn't fucking help. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it on this tab. Well, no, I do use add-ons on Firefox, but I use Chrome for streaming, so I don't leak my address again. Because I leaked my address last time, and this was much earlier on when I had like 7, 8 viewers, and I leaked my address. So since then I use Chrome. Here it is. There we go. That's so much better. Stop using Notepad. Use something updated this. You leave Notepad alone. It does a good job. Notepad lets me share all my information. I am out of principle at this point, never upgrading from Notepad. Notepad has been by my side for 20 fucking years. I'm not leaving Notepad to the wayside. Notepad has done me good. But I actually have to scroll up and read chat. I completely ignored a lot of people's messages for a second. They're already referring to Kata as classic progression server. It's totally fine. So yeah, WoW progression, WoW live, WoW classic servers. At this point, it's merely semantic. That's a good way of putting it. WoW progression, WoW live or WoW retail, and WoW classic. It's a really good distinction. OneNote, don't look back. I actually like OneNote, but our incursion is going to be in phase 4, probably. Today's remix, yeah. WoW remix release time. Wait, WoW remix is live right now? No, it's live in 3 hours. 2 hours. 2 hours, yeah. Yeah, so WoW remix is 11 a.m. PDT. That's 3 hours behind me, so... But I'll explain why there's going to be incursions. They're not just going to turn off the whole system. They're going to improve on it. Who here would duplicate their WoW Classic Print to retail for $60? Me. My warrior is jacked. I have Naxkia. I have exalted titles. I have the Tiger. I have Thunder Fury. It's gonna be. Yeah, no, everyone would pay the $60. Do you know how much the retail players would seethe? The retail players would lose their mind. Great job on the interview, my man. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for the kind words. The interview, I was worried. I was anxious. Shiver me timbers. I was worried. And then the interview went phenomenally. So, when do you think Phase 4 will come out? June 13th. At the latest. At the latest, it'll be June 13th. It has to be June 13th. They cannot let Phase 3 last longer than 10 weeks. I don't think my warrior is on error. Oh, Maddie, thank you very much for the subscription, my man. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, my brother. You're a real one for that Twitch sub. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Now you don't get ads. So that's cool. And no, my warrior is not error. But now we are going to jump back into the discussion about the next couple seasons. Humble contribution. There's nothing humble about it. It's the viewership that lets me do this shit. So just so you guys know, I'm not a full-time content creator. I do this as a hobby. I essentially, to do YouTube, I've given up all my other hobbies. I don't game. I do all my stuff like IRL and shit. So content creation is every free minute I have for content is for content creation. And the goal is to be full-time at some point. I'm not there yet, but like God's hope, God's be with me, we'll get there. But let me read. So, a level 60 incursion should be dailies only, along with making all other dailies only. So they will fix incursions. They've heard the feedback, guys. The feedback has been so beyond negative that they definitely and absolutely understand exactly what the player base is feeling or thinking. Like they definitely, and I mean that they definitely know what we all want, what everybody wants to see. Hey Aaron, my man, welcome to the stream. So they know. And incursions will be fixed. It's probably the most vocally hated thing that SART has added. But they're not going to abandon it because they just made the tech. So that tech is going to be implemented in further versions of the next couple seasons. It's going to be implemented in Phase 4. If it was retail, they would have never fixed it. Let's be real. True, true. But look, my man Agrand is coming back. So when Agrand gets back, wait for those blue posts and those tweets to come flying. And actually, let me see if Agrand's back yet. Okay. I'm just trying to see if Agrand is back. Because, man, everyone's been losing their minds just because of no news. And I don't blame them. Everyone wants some goddamn news. Nobody likes it when there's no information at all. He's not back yet, but he's just texted him. He's at the beach. Yeah. Man, Agrand, I hope you have a lovely vacation. The community is losing its fucking mind. And I don't blame Agrand for this. But like the community got so used to the devs talking to them that Agrand just going quiet. The dementia set in. Everyone lost their shit. So yes, Guy. When I say dailies in Classic, and yeah, Agrand's on vacation. He's still on vacation, I think. So let's just talk about that. Okay. Well, actually, one thing. Okay. So I again, my chat's actually moving faster than I can respond to because I'm typing, so I gotta look back and actually respond to people. Do you think they will use zones like Caverns of Time and Hyjal for level 60 incursions? They likely will use new versions and like new designs and new games for further seasons. Will they use that content in Season of Discovery? I don't know. So let me explain. So here we go. Now let me explain everything I just typed here. Incursions, they're not going to remove it. They've literally made new tech for these new things. They will fix it, level 60 zone, 5 quests per day, etc. kind of thing. Exactly how they'll do it is debatable. I don't want to speak factually like they're going to do this, they're going to do that, this is happening, that's happening. They're going to fix it. How they fix it is up to debate. That's what we can discuss and figure out, but it's not getting removed. They will fix it, but it's not getting removed. That's the best thing I can tell everybody. Do not expect incursions to go anywhere. Someone was doing 20k DPS, what the heck? Oh yeah, shamans are gonna clap cheeks. They're not fixing PvP. You literally cannot balance SOD. SOD is unbalanceable by virtue of being SOD. So certain classes, shamans, you know, like Ret Paladin hitting you with a seal for 4,000 damage and stuff like that's not going to get tweaked. They might tweak damage values or resilience values, but they can't take power away once it's been given. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. It's already out there. It's public. There is no going back. And so a lot of people want to kind of like remove the damage, remove this stuff, but they're not going to fix it. Same thing with the economy. You can't unfuck the economy. When the economy becomes fucked, it's over. You can't just take people's gold away. And you can't just do massive gold sink that the average player can't afford, because that breeds like I'm forgetting the word. Resentment. People get upset and angry. And so realistically, what's going to happen is for PvP, the fix you're all expecting is the Alliance and Horde are going to merge into one pool. You're going to have the face mask thing on, and Horde is going to be fighting Horde with the average occasional Alliance with everybody. That's the best thing they can do. The other thing they can do that would fix the balance issues a little bit. This is a bit too zoomed in, but fuck it, it'll do. I haven't played PvP even once during the entire thing. That's fair. I I did PvP, and as the bear, like as a druid main, I've been playing druid since Cataclysm. So I've been playing druid for 14 years right now, I think. I started druid when troll druids became a thing. I started playing druid, and it was probably one of the easiest flag carrying I've ever done. Out of 38 games, I won 34 of them. So it was an insane win. I had a great time. The Alliance didn't, but I mean, that is classic PvP in a nutshell, though. I don't like 1 second being alive and then dead after I've blinked once. Giving Horde Paladin seems like a big L for them if Alliance gets Shaman in return. I think Agron's lost drive for Sod feel for him. No, Toby, that's what I'm saying is it's not doable because of the way runes work. The amount of balance necessary would be the same amount of balance as, let me put it this way. So when they figure out the balance for Sod, we'll get arenas, honestly. That's the best way I can put it. The amount of work necessary to balance Sod as a game for PvP is way more effort than they're going to add to the game. No, Alliance still were in queue because of the give up mentality. As an Alliance player for all of the original Classic back in 2019, Alliance gave up aggressively. So I had a 97% win rate in BGs because I led my own BGs back in 2019, 2020. And if I wasn't leading, Alliance pugs are genuinely the worst players in existence. They have no drive, no ambition, no desire to win. It's AFK, lose, move on. AFK, lose, move on. AFK, lose, move on. And that Alliance mentality has like bled over into other versions of the game. And because of just the way Alliance plays, Alliance will not try. Because it's easier for Alliance to just give up and move on. So Alliance versus Alliance is going to be the most boring shit in existence. Alliance pre-mades are better than Horde pre-mades. I'm going to be upfront with everybody right here. Alliance pre-mades are better than Horde pre-mades. But Alliance pre-mating is so much more difficult than Horde pre-mating. When is Classic fresh? Brother, tell me. You let me know. I'm ready. Let's fucking ball. I've been most of the time Alliance and it sucks. Just Australian people are good. Aussie players are toxic as fuck. I love my Aussies. I'm Australian. But Aussie players are toxic to the same level that Horde players can be. I will hold the game hostage till we win. You are not allowed to AFK or lose my battleground. I don't give a shit about your HPH. I don't give a shit about your honor. We are playing to win. And that's how Australian players play. It's just an Australian thing. I mean, they gambled this patch and didn't work out. The best they can do is do better next time. They will do better next time. Especially when it comes to like swapping out Alliance and like Shamans and all that stuff. No, I get you, Maddie. I'm 100% agreeing with you. They need to do... people need to not give up. Why none speak about Phase 5? That'll be when they add Hyjal and more. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Based on the conversations I had with the devs, I don't think we're going to get any majorly new content in SOD. I think they're saving everything for the next season. I think next season we are going to be getting the season of demons or the season of Hyjal or like season of something, and it's going to be based on newer content, newer expectations in the new season. I think they're cooking something right now. that we won't see until next season. Human racial meta. That's fair, Metroc. Can't say I disagree with you. That is fair, but it's not really the greatest situation where one faction gives up drastically harder than the other. Give me a second, guys. Need to check something. Okay. So. Will they update racials? Probably not. They already did tweak racials, but realistically, I think adding the racials isn't difficult. So, to solve faction imbalance. NK, no, we don't lose our progress. That's not going anywhere. Don't worry, guy. Okay, sorry. Chat just moved super fucking fast. Sternus. What do I think about Dungeon Finder and SOD? They will likely add Dungeon Finder in future seasons. Or, if they don't add Dungeon Finder, they likely will add, they're either going to add Dungeon Finder or they're going to make summoning stones work. It's a thing where the player base shits on it and hates it, but looking for dungeon and looking for raid is probably the most actively used things in every other version of WoW. Realistically, Dungeon Finder so they'll likely make summoning stones work as a compromise, because most people would be okay with summoning stones because fuck warlocks, and removing the need for warlocks to get summoned around the world would be a lot easier. So that way, when your tank and one of the DPS gets there, you can just be like at summoning stone looking for one healer, 2 DPS. You don't have to wait 20 minutes for everybody to run to the dungeon. So summoning stones will likely get added. Looking for raid plus LFG equals death of the community because you need 0 talk anymore. True. I don't think summoning stones would kill the open world Wictor, because people just use warlock summons now. So I do understand the kind of like concern, like worry about that, but I don't think they'll add looking for dungeon as it is, but they may add a feature. Well, they may have a built-in looking like a built-in bulletin board. Yeah, it won't fundamentally change the game at all, though. But yeah, random dungeon finder would. So likely, this is what I see happening, guys. Realistically, I see them adding the bulletin board add-on into the base game. So you know how odd you have when you go log on to retail, you have or like Cataclysm, you have like looking for dungeon, this and this. They'll probably add the bulletin board like itself. And when they add the bulletin board, they'll probably just make summoning stones work. So you can go on there, you can list your dungeon or list your raid group or whatever. People can apply to it from there or whisper you from there. And then they would have the summoning stones working. Fuck making the game fast. Look at what that did with the nightmares. The nightmare incursions were good on paper, but a failed delivery or a failed product. So I completely agree. Yeah, I highly doubt they'll add dungeon masters. As you can even see, I literally put there not in the spirit of classic. People have been complaining about like a lot of those chat systems, Aaron. And I think they want to streamline things because seasonal content at the end of the day does have to be a bit faster paced. Again, it depends on implementation and the effectiveness of the developers. Will the devs actually go out of their way to will they go out of their way to make it work and feel proper? That's the main thing. Also, if I do miss somebody's message, I'm not ignoring you guys. But between talking and describing and going into in-depth detail, I don't have the time to respond to everybody, but I am not ignoring you guys, I promise. I love you all and I try to respond to every message. It's just not feasible the more viewers and chatters I get. How about for the next wild offering system? You talk to an NPC and he will set up a dungeon group and you need to finish the dungeon with that group to get your reward. That's likely what it will be. That, like I said, it's likely going to be like a quest system. It's probably just going to be like a, hey, go complete BRD. Hey, go complete Scholar Mans. Hey, go complete this. And then you have to go and complete your dungeon. Only thing why I set LFG and not Lich King dungeons after is that the game was created around and you need to currently from dungeons that are only available through RDF. That's true. The problem wasn't the finder itself, it was the anonymization and language barrier possibility to create friendships or stay in contact. I agree with that. I do agree with that, Metro. Yeah. But at the same time, just the way the player base plays, I feel like the people don't give a shit anymore. Servers are so much larger. Like, the average SOD server is bigger than the biggest Wrath of the Lich King server back in 2008. There's just so many more people packed onto one server that you don't know shit. You don't know anybody. I couldn't name you one cool person on my server. Hey Caesar, welcome to the stream, my man. But no, we use the bulletin board add-on right now to find people for BM looking for pugs or 10-man content. Works pretty decent. Can be toxic if the person posting is toxic to begin with. That's fair. But coming back here, because this was the initial topic I began with, and then I got very off topic. And bring back GDKPs in SOD. They very, very likely will not. And we're likely going to see GDKPs banned in every seasonal server going forward. So when will they bring GDKPs back? When SOD goes to SOD era, you'll get GDKPs again. All problem wild offerings, but they made it only deterministic route path to get Dark Moon decks, which requires 100+ runs just to get a partial deck. True. Ban them in era, LMAO. I don't know if they're gonna ban people in era once they get there. I think GDKPs are gonna be very common in era. We got bots in the chat. Okay. No, I understand you don't like a GDKP. I don't think they're bots though. Yeah, they already did say in another interview that GDKPs are here to stay. So I don't think GDKPs are going anywhere, but I think GDKPs are gonna stay banned in SOD itself and era. But like GDKPs are not getting banned anywhere else. It's just the SOD and seasonal only ban is what I think it's going to be. But now we're gonna continue with the next season. we are going to deep dive together about the possible next seasons we're getting in WoW. Now, what does the average person think of when they think seasonal content? They expect a 12, maybe 18-month long server that lasts from, you know, say it begins in January, lasts to June next year. And then it ends, your stuff gets transferred, and you start over on a whole new concept and idea. But every new season will take what they've learned and apply that shit to the new season. We're probably getting WoW token at some point. I'm gonna be honest with everybody, before I deep dive this, we are realistically going to probably get a WoW token within WoW token is probably going to be probably not this season, maybe even not next season, but I'm actually going to. Now the reason I say this, now I know some people are gonna find this controversial, but Microsoft is a company and they don't care that. Here's a good way of putting it. There are 8 million players that play WoW, give or take right now. Maybe 7.75, maybe 8.25, just in the range of 7.5 million players to 8.5 million players right now. That's about, give or take, we can baseline guess that. Having that many subs, Microsoft needs to turn a profit every single quarter. They spent $69 billion to buy Activision Blizzard. They spent most of that money to buy COD and like Candy Crush, like King and Activision. But Blizzard still has to pull its weight, and that weight is in long-term MAUs and monthly spending. The sub is irrelevant because 5 people buying a WoW token is equal to 1 person buying 5 WoW tokens a month is equal to 5 subscribers. 1 million players can spend more money than 20 million subscribers if they're buying WoW tokens, cosmetics, race changes, faction transfers, this shit, that shit. The WoW token makes Blizzard a lot of fucking money, guys. I mean that, it makes them a lot of money. And as much as I hate the idea of the WoW token, and I think the WoW token is a bane on the game, terrible situation, don't add it. It is what it is at the end of the day. But we aren't going to discuss the implications or the whys and the hows and the whens. Eventually it'll be. So I'm going to push this away. It does make the game pay to win to a degree. But you can't buy skill. You cannot buy skill. So realistically, if they add the WoW Classic store and it's just cosmetics on there, nobody's gonna give a shit. People are gonna buy the cosmetics, they're gonna buy this shit. One fucking sparkly pony made more money than Winds of Liberty. This is why we don't get RTS games. You can't monetize the RTS player base, but you can monetize the MMO player base. Yeah, pay to win's not the right word. Pay faster or pay to skip grinding is the best way to put it. What's more toxic for the community, GDKPs or passing/gatekeeping? Passing/gatekeeping is more toxic because GDKPs incentivize you to spend money the best way to put it is like this. GDKPs want bad players. GDKPs profit from shitty players. Because for a GDKP, if you're a buyer, you can pass a 3 or a 4 and the organizers salivate at their mouths. Because the people buying the most tokens, spending the most money, are the people that have the least amount of fingers to play with. But they will buy WoW tokens, they will buy gold, and they will spend that shit. So GDKPs incentivize bad players. Passing and gatekeeping punish casual players, which is worse for the game. Because gatekeeping and like passing is more elite than GDKPs would be. Because if you bring 20 good players to a GDKP, they're not spending that much money. They want to make money. That's why they're carrying bad players. But on a passing/gatekeeping community, they do not want bad players. They don't want your gold because it's not a GDKP raid. It's there to go faster, smoother, more efficient. A Draken, they did do that. Nobody bought them. Nobody bought the skin. So it doesn't work. I get what you're saying, but that shit does not work. I need another fucking drink. I'll be right back. So chat, question for everybody. Diet Mountain Dew or Mountain Dew Zero? Which one? I have both. Because I drink cancer in a bottle, liquid cancer, but I don't drink sugar. Sugar makes you fat. This just gives you cancer. So I mean, it's cancer. It's what it is. I think I'm gonna drink the Diet Mountain Dew, honestly. The diet is sweeter than the Zero, weirdly enough. It's interesting. Even if someone that had a leveling service for years, I have to say fuck GDKPs, they are toxic as hell. Interesting take, interesting take. Soda water, stop drinking antifreeze. I refuse. I am gonna drink my antifreeze in a bottle and nobody can stop me. Mix them. I might actually try that. That's interesting. Loved your interview with the devs. What is your opinion on Turtle WoW? I just started playing and seems like a really good vision for Classic Plus. Turtle WoW is an amazing game, and the Turtle WoW developers are incredibly passionate, and Agron should reach out to his boss at Blizzard and hire every single Turtle WoW dev to come work for Blizzard. Because the Turtle WoW devs are genuinely passionate and they really care about that Classic Plus experience. But it's not official. So no matter how good a private server is, a private server will always, even at its best, have the tiniest fraction of an official server's player base. So it doesn't matter if Total WoW was in hypothetically the best game mode on the planet. It doesn't matter how good Total WoW is. Most people will never touch a private server. 99% of the player base will never touch a private server. But Total WoW is an amazing concept, an amazing private server that really delivers on that Classic Plus vision. And if it was official, it would be baller. But it's not. So sadly, that is the only thing I can say about it. Is if you like Classic Plus, you'll have a good time. But it'll never have a large enough player base to justify how it is. I don't know why anyone would play retail if they're already not playing. It's 20 years of progression, why even start? Retail's in a really good spot right now. Like, retail's in a really good spot. Like, I honestly, don't get me wrong, I am not a retail player. Look at me, guys. I am, look, I have to show you guys something, actually. So, I need to show you guys this before I keep playing. This is my Warcraft 3 Collector's Edition. It's got the OG books. It's got like information and lore that has been retconned so hard, not relevant anymore. I have Warcraft 1 and Warcraft 2 inside of this as well. World of Warcraft Classic and the TBC box set. The box set of the game. I don't have I don't have my OG vanilla box anymore. I never actually bought the, I mean, I bought the OG vanilla box, but I bought this one. You know when it came with the 6 million plus players sticker on it? That's the one I bought. I didn't buy the official when it came out in 2004. I didn't get that. Sorry, wrong one. Wrath of the Lich King. The expansion set. Cataclysm. The expansion set. I actually bought Mists of Pandaria at launch back in 2000 and... was it 14? 12? 14? 2012 is when Mist came out. I bought Mist in 2012. And I never fucking played it. I skipped the whole expansion despite buying it. Now, just so you guys know, none of this is my original stuff. I got all of this on eBay because I lost all my original stuff between several moves and this stuff and that stuff. I don't have any of my original shit anymore. This stuff is original, but it's someone else's original copy. So this isn't my game key, it's none of that stuff. I lost all my original stuff. I then went and bought new original things. I gotta go put this all away, but I have a whole shelf there full of like shit. Someday I'll show everybody all the stuff on that shelf. It's some cool shit though. I was gonna organize it again, but I'm just gonna leave it there for now. I genuinely have 3 of the classic boxes with the gold sticker with the numbers from various times if you're chasing one. You can buy them on like eBay for like 10 or 15 bucks. They're not super rare. The collector's edition itself is rare, but just getting the regular box isn't. Like, I mean, we can look at it actually. eBay, World of Warcraft, original. Yeah, see? $3, it's just the box. Like, just getting the base box for one of the games isn't super expensive, but it is like, it is a cool thing to have. This is a cool shit. 4,000 bucks. Oh, that's a bid. $10,000. Honestly, Blizzard, sponsor me. I'll buy all of this. This looks fucking sick. Holy shit. Damn, that's amazing. This is such a cool image. I would love to have this. And I appreciate that, Twosies. Thank you very much. Maybe I'll take you up on that someday. Retail is dead. I bought every expansion, but since Legion, it's gone from amazing to bad to worse. There's no sense in me having 3 of them. Chris Metzen returning is just to make people buy the expansion again. Story is still just as bad. Yeah, no, I understand that, guys. I do get that. Retail might not be for everybody, but I am going to try. I am going to try to play War Within. I'll play on stream a bit. We'll discuss it and talk about it. But Classic Plus is my heart. I am a Classic Plus Season of Discovery. I'm a classic content creator. Look at me, guys. Fucking look at me. All my fucking free time, every single second of free time I have goes to Classic. Goes to writing Classic content. Goes to writing Theorycraft. Like, I have 2 channels and they're both about Classic WoW. There's a level of derangement there. Because all I do is Classic, but I mean, honestly, I love it. I love Classic WoW. It's genuinely amazing. But now, we're going right back onto... And Sativa, if you ever want to send it to me, send me your collection. I'll take it happily. We're going to deep dive the next seasons. We're now going to describe and go into detail about the next seasons of World of Warcraft. Let's first discuss it. They talked about a version of Cataclysm that was Cataclysm with... I'm tired, Grandpa. Yeah, the TCG cards are all worthless. That is fair. So, first thing we're going to discuss is the most obvious one. We'll likely get a Cataclysm with OG talent system within a couple years. I don't know when we'll get that, but like, let's just say probably within 5-ish years. It'll probably be a SOD style of, like, you know, Cataclysm, SOD, whatever. So that would be really cool. I think that would, like I said, that's about 5 years out, give or take. I don't see the Cataclysm OG talent system, SOD, whatever it's called, coming out anytime soon. But it sounds like something they were interested in. It sounded like something that was fun. And I think it would make Cataclysm really kind of wonky. Okay, I gotta put this right here to explain. We are theory crafting the next seasons. The only thing I can confirm so, Classic Plus, I cannot confirm. I know we likely will get Classic Plus in the future. If I had to explain it to everybody, this is how I would put it. Classic Plus is very likely... So yeah, Classic Plus may happen, but it's not happening anytime soon. So we are getting the next classic thing is a new season. Whether that Season of Discovery is continuation or it's a completely new season, unknown. That's the debate, that's the theory crafting, and it gives me a lot of shit to talk about because I'm going to invent seasons. They're gonna be fun. They're gonna be interesting. They're gonna be. I forget the word I was trying to think of. It was a word that starts with C, but the word eluded my grasp. But yeah, the devs aren't gonna confirm shit till it happens. So realistically, whenever we learn is whenever Agron comes back and says something, or when I get invited, hopefully, please. Devs, if you're watching this, I am so passionate about you guys' team. Your team is amazing. Interview me about Season of Discovery. Let me have that SOD interview, that Classic Plus interview. Trust me when I say, it'll be amazing. Fucking amazing. I'm so excited. But again, we're gonna just go right back into this. Next season. What is next season? The next season may actually be a TBC season, but this one will also likely not be soon. So, I just need to clarify with the TBC season. We will likely not get TBC until we get a TBC era. They'll probably announce TBC, the Burning Crusade era, at the same time they announce the Burning Crusade Wrath of Illidan, or the Burning Crusade Wrath of Kill Jaden, whatever they call that season, right? It'll probably come out together, give or take. There we go. Seasons are getting old. Classic WoW was not meant to be played in a seasonal format. Level gating was interesting, but turned out terribly. They likely won't do level gating anymore. So the way I view it is, we likely will not get any more. Let me just do this. There we go. I think level gating is fine if it's 3 weeks. Any longer and it's boring. As long as they don't make it a, oh, we put 2 little things in a normal classic and call it season, I'm okay with it. But when it becomes something like Season of Mastery, they will lose too many players. We will likely not get Season of Mastery again. They learned their lesson of Season of Mastery. Season of Mastery was good on paper. But Season of Mastery isn't exactly what the player base wants for the most part. They missed the mark with Season of Mastery. They knew we wanted more classic, and they misconstrued how we wanted that. Like, on paper, Season of Mastery was a good idea. The implementation of it was like terrible because it was just... Classic is not meant to be about difficult, it's meant to be about fun and accessibility. They just went straight for the difficulty and nothing about the fun. Season of Mastery would have been a lot funner if MC was built up to, like, MC had levels to it. Imagine MC had MC, then MC2, then MC3. And you had to keep gearing up and getting stronger and stronger to tackle the later versions of Molten Core. That would have been fun. I would have hit that itch much better. But by going straight from Molten Core is easy to Molten Core is super hard, it does, like, it just didn't land how they expected it to land. Good job getting interviewed with the devs. Felt like you could have asked some spicier questions though. I had to keep my questions in line with Cataclysm, so I didn't get to ask a lot of the things I would have liked to ask. For example, Season of Discovery Phase 4, after Season of Discovery, Classic Plus, but... So, hopefully next interview. They also ran inside to add those changes to SOD, which, while not to blame, it also came in the same phase that had the largest player drop off. True. Devs did a lot. They don't understand why the player base lacks things. Happened with Diablo 4 and Halo Infinite. That does interest me, that the player base always... They understand what people want on paper, and then they don't implement it correctly. And it makes me wonder what the disconnect is. Is the disconnect that when you're developing or writing things about the game, you lose that player-based connection to it, because the players play the game, but you see it from the back end. So the player base has built something up in your mind, but you have to design what they have in their mind based off how they act now. Yeah, it was a Cataclysm interview. The accidental little leak of Season of Discovery's future being confirmed, well, we knew it was confirmed, right? Nobody was surprised that we were getting more stuff. But now we know for a fact we're getting new season. And that has me so fucking hyped up. You guys don't understand how hyped I am. The disconnect is that the current leadership like retail don't understand why people like Classic. Yeah, for vanilla, you are correct. There is a disconnect in the understanding of why people like a certain game mode, why people play a certain game mode, why people invest in that certain game mode. And I think the developers understand it, but I don't think they understand what the player base has become. The Classic player base is probably the most deranged, psychopathic, mentally unstable player base out of any game. And that's not to say they're psychopathic and deranged because they were like that. It's because the community is so aggressively elite nowadays that it's changed how the game is played, and the developers don't know how to keep it classic and fast. So there's no winning with that situation. Exactly, Foster. You're 100% correct. Like mage boosting. On paper, people hate people hate leveling, so they mage boost. But if you just make the leveling faster, it doesn't fix the issue. The core issue is, why do the players dislike leveling? It's because the reward for leveling the first time is fun. The second, third, fourth, fifth time is boring. But how do you make the unboring without ruining the core experience? Difficult. There's a solution, but it's not just making leveling faster. And what do you think the amount of gear, what do you think of the amount of gear in BFD? I think it should have only been 10-20% of the amount of gear. The problem was that the quality of gear was too high compared to the world. I think BFD's gear was okay. It was much more powerful than it needed to be. The problem with BFD's gear was BFD set a standard that could not be matched. We went from 0 to 100, where we should have gone from 0 to 30, Then 30 to 60 should have been Noma. Then 30 to 80 should have been Phase 3 in Sunken Temple. And then 80 to 100 should have been the dungeons in preparation of MC. The gear jump was too high. BFD should have started much lower. Like, the BFD staff should have given 12 spell power, not 26. All the damage and gear from BFD should have been dropped. The gear should have still been good, but the gear should have been level 30, 45 gear in BFD. Level 30, 45 gear should have been level 50, 60 gear, and the level 50, 60 gear should have been like the new and improved amazing gear. What was the time between Som and Sod? Som and Sod was about 3 years, because Som was 2021. 16 November 2021. So it was essentially November 2022, November 2023. 2 years between Som and Sod. So 2 years is how long they were essentially cooking, the planning at least. Promoting group play makes leveling better, but everyone plays like a single player game. That is a community problem that's hard to fix. Also, they encourage alt in phase 1, but then due to grind and runes and other things, having alt felt like poop later on. It did. Having alt became drastically harder and harder. So having alt was a problem the longer the game went on. Which again is a problem. Because having alt is not a bad thing. The problem is with having alts. Having alts is meant to be about... What's this? It's the Twitter message. Because my Twitter is now... I am no longer an unknown person when it comes to Twitter. I'm still a fucking nobody, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm still a fucking nobody. I'm not gonna lie. Ebonheart is not famous. Will I ever be famous? Stay tuned to find out, I guess. Maybe someday, guys. Maybe someday. How do you log into Remix? It's not out yet. 35 minutes to go for Remix. I will be playing Remix on stream to try it out, guys. I don't know how fun Remix is going to be. I am going to try it out while I keep discussing seasonal content for Sod and Classic, but it's not out yet, so we're still going to be chatting for another 30-40 minutes. The gear in BFD was fine, feeling power felt great. I don't know why they can't just keep the same incremental increases going and just make an algorithm that makes dungeons more difficult in future. That's what they're doing in Phase 4. Phase 4 is redoing all the dungeon loot. I'm sure they'll make the bosses a bit harder. I'm sure they'll figure out a way to compensate the world feeling weak for the amount of damage we have. But I don't know how long it's going to take them to knock that out of the park. Phase 4 is probably going to be pretty buggy at launch. But honestly, right now, in my opinion, so long as we can get through the phases fast enough for the next season, and then that season builds up enough hype and hope for Classic Plus, we'll be fine. I do agree with chat though. I know a lot of people are very worried about seasons just being like every 18 months I gotta make a new character, try hard again, do this, do that. Classic Plus has to be sooner rather than later. I think they might be building up that classic team. Like, think about it. Each season adds a new amount of players to the player base, to the servers, to everything. And then they can just keep adding new seasonal servers. No, it's not a beer, it's Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew, sponsor me. How many viewers do I have? Let me check, actually. Hey, Westlove, thank you for the follow, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you for following me on Twitch. Where is my viewership? I'm at 81 viewers. Okay, there we go. 81. It's not massive, guys. But 81 viewers, Mountain Dew. Imagine how much money you could make off 81 customers. With how much I drink this shit, I should be getting paid. All I'm saying. Horde Alliance doesn't matter in WoW Remix, guys. Play whatever you guys want. I'm gonna be very upfront and honest with everybody. In WoW Remix, everything is irrelevant. It's literally a retail character. PvP is mixed. Horde versus Alliance. Alliance versus Alliance. Horde versus Horde. PvP is irrelevant. Don't play PvP. Guys, trust me, do not get on a PvE. Do not get on a PvP server. It's a 3-month long thing. Don't grief yourself. Play PvE on WoW Remix. Hope that Paladin will be able to tank forever in classic seasons from now on. Paladin will always be able to tank now. Shaman will always be able to tank. All the cool fixes we got now won't be going away, guys. They're very likely just going to do this. I'm trying to think of what they could make for another season as an example. That's just an example, right? Death runes. I just made that up on the spot. That doesn't mean it's going to be death runes. I'm just saying that the next mechanic will be... what they said was we are working on new things. So this is what he said twice. Because I went back and watched my VOD. I don't know if he meant to say it or if it was just like a slip of the tongue or if it was just like a correction in his mind. But I am taking his Chris's word as word. And he said... the seasons after Season of Discovery will have different, no, he said the seasons after Season of Discovery, will have new content and new things, etc., etc. So, season after Season of Discovery. That, in my mind, is a new season. Now, did he mean, instead of meaning exactly verbatim what he said, did he mean like the content after Season of Discovery will be unique and fresh? He could have meant it like that. His mind could have just corrected it to season because of the topic and it being an interview and back-to-back. He could have just spoke fast, right? He could have just like said it as is. I am taking it factually because I'm literally on... guys, I'm Alex Jones. He gave me enough rope to make a goddamn swing and I'm fucking swinging. So, is it going to be Season of the next thing's gonna be a season. I cannot 100% confirm that, but I'm going with it. So all I'm saying is that's that. I'm going to do this here. So this is the kind of things they're likely going to do going forward. It's not meant to, like, this is, again, I just made everything here up. This is just an example. Death runes. Level 1 to 60 from the get-go. They'll tweak the leveling experience, so, you know, like, there'll be like a lich here, a death knight here, a ghoul here, a abomination here, stuff like that to make the game and world feel a little more Season of Deathy. And then they'll just tweak the raids. So instead of it just being Molten Core, it's still Molten Core, but now it's a Deathy Molten Core. The Scourge got there, and Arthur's corrupted Ragnaros, Deathlord Ragnaros, alternate timeline bullshit. Season of Independence. You can only have one character, and every death lowers you by one level. That would be fucking hilarious. They're absolutely not doing that. That would be the funniest shit I've ever seen, though. If they did that, that would piss off everybody. But it would be hilariously fun. My nose is a bit runny. I gotta grab some tissue. I'm really getting fucking sick. But yeah, no, so in this hypothetical universe, Season of Death, right? They're probably going to change the loot so the loot is more death themed, so like everything feels more death themed, while Arthur's doing this. They probably will, though, I will say. I think they should look at more private server landscapes, at the private server landscape, project ascension, etc., and more runes that directly affect town systems and using ideas from mock remix. They likely will. Likely everything we see will probably get pushed in some form or another to keep the cohesion between all these new game modes and expansions. And that's what I'm trying to tell people, is that overall, the game as a whole, these new seasons are about taking all the things that work and continuously applying all the little changes that made the game better and making it work for this new game mode. So incursions, wild offerings, etc. will all be there. But again, I just made this all up to explain my point of view of how it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be anything close to this. I think Season of Death, even if they do like an undead themed or an Arthas themed or like a Scourge themed season, it's not going to be like this. What is my opinion on the current talent tree? The current talent tree for example, the hero classes and the hero talent is cool. I think making it's cool and it makes retail seem better. So it could be interesting. I just don't know how fun it's going to be. I haven't played the alpha or beta. People say it's really fun, but again, I haven't played. It looks cool though. Yeah, we're looking about next June, so about 12 months before they end SOD, give or take, is how I would put it. It might go a little faster, but I feel like SOD is going at a decent pace for the devs. So it'll likely be about 12 weeks or 10 weeks a phase. So give or take till June next year, maybe May next year. It's probably going to last about 10 to 12 more months, realistically. Yeah, I would put money on that, realistically. That's how it would likely end up going. Sorry, late. Just saw the video of your stream with the devs. Interesting question to like, Ebenhart. Thank you, my man. I hope you enjoyed it. Interview went really well, I'd like to think. And let's see what the views are right now. The devs are, it's at 8K. What is actually on my end? Let me see. Because this is behind what I see. Because on my analytics, it's more up to date. It is at 9.8 thousand views right now, and very positively liked. A lot of comments though. Some sexist comments here or there. A lot of somewhat upset comments of the devs saying that none of this shit is classic. You know. Interesting stuff though, interesting stuff. Got like 60 subs out of it. So I mean, I'll take it. I'll fucking take it, guys. Was the time get a nice stretching. Okay. Let's just say 10 weeks a phase, right? Let's just say 10 weeks a phase at 20-man raids. And this will be better on a different tab. When will phase 4, when will XOD end? And let's see, phase 2, XOD, phase 2, release date. I don't remember the exact date for phase 2, February 8th. Was it 8 weeks or 9 weeks? Let me see. It was 8 weeks. I'm going to estimate July. I don't know how it's exactly going to end when War Within comes out, but it might be give or take that. So let's just do 8 weeks. That would be July 6th, would be 8 weeks. So 8 weeks out. So let's just say. I'll also explain what each phase is, so. Let's do another 10 weeks, yeah, hypothetically. Sorry, I meant June. Yeah, I mistyped that. June 6th, not July. Yeah, no, I mistyped pasta. It was a mistype, guys, I promise. So August 15th. So let's do 12. Let's do 10 weeks for the raids, right? Yeah, no, I mistyped it. I meant 8 weeks. I just typed July for some reason. I'm guesstimating here just so we can like get the dates out, right? And this puts us at a full 12 months. Realistically, I think 12 months is, well, this is 13 months of SOD. I think 13 months is too short. Well, the roadmap's timeline was just up to phase 5. And if I bring up the roadmap again, wow, classic roadmap. So if I zoom in here a bit and like I just scroll, autumn is season 5. So phase 5 is autumn. So America, autumn. When is autumn in the US? So it begins on September and ends on December. So phase 5. So I'm more correct with things lasting 12 to 14 weeks down here, like I said. So summer being this, so June. I mean, I don't know. It looks like it's meant to be 3 months between Season of Discovery, Phase 3 and Phase 4. But there's no way they can wait 4 more weeks. They have to accelerate the timeline. They cannot leave us for 4 more weeks based on the timeline here. Like, original roadmap may have meant to be 12 weeks. But 12 weeks is brutal. They can't expect us to be playing SOD Phase 3 for 6 more weeks. 7 weeks. What is it? Yeah, 6 or 7 weeks. Scott, out. Close the door, go. No, go. Scott, go. One second, guys. No, so my doggo came in, but that was my son being a little bastard. The best way to put it. I swear to God, that child pisses me off so much at times. No, not my wife, my son. My goddamn son. But like, getting back onto this, I don't think that's gonna be correct. So I think the authentic timeline will be so I'm gonna copy all this and make another tab, and I'm going to do the correct timeline and what I genuinely think it'll be. So I'm gonna fix this. June 6th, yeah, right? But August 15th is 10 weeks, so I think it's going to be $12 weeks. Is what I'm going to do everything at 12 weeks. So let's go here. How did I already forget the fucking number? And then 12 more weeks from February 25th would be, let's try this. February 20th or 27th. The fuck is 20th? So just about 18 months of SOD would be 12 weeks for the last 4 phases. and then you know, phase SOD ending on May 25th. How long was phase 1 in Psalm? That's a curious question. It was a 12-month season. Phase 1 was November. Phase 2 was... It was like 1 month each. Like 2 months each. Realistically, I don't know what the right like timeline or length is here. I personally think Scarlet Monastery is going to be a whole different like season. I don't think they're going to release it this season. It might be SM instead of Kara, but I think Kara is more likely than SM. I think the Scarlet raid might be a different one. Like realistically, think of it as a new season. We're probably more likely to get an SM thing here than we are in the current thing. This is my opinion on about... The weeks might be off by 1 or 2 because I may have fucked it up while I was scrolling. I may have missed 1, maybe missed 2 weeks. But give or take, this is about accurate, right? And the classic... They may release more than 1 raid. They may add an extra phase here or there in between, right? So let's just do this. I just don't see them doing it it's a lot of content. If they have another season happening right after, how much effort are they putting into each individual phase aside from the loot revamping? Yeah, no, most people aren't on Reddit, most people aren't on Twitter, most people aren't on the forums. 90% of the player base probably doesn't look at anything. Like my interview with the devs, like I just don't think most people give a shit at all. I don't think most people are playing at all. And it's, well, when I say playing, I mean like they're not like dealing with all this online shenanigans and like bullshittery. I think we, like people that watch content or consume content or stuff like that, are partaking more in like that online influencer or like that Reddit thread or like a Twitter thread or whatever than most people ever will. At least that's my theory on it, right? So I'm not sure exactly. Like a Dire Mall could be revamped into a raid, for example. Absolutely. I don't expect we get Dire Mall starter phase 4. Yeah, Dire Mall might be here, like, you know. I'm just not sure what they plan on doing exactly. They could easily make a raid out of Tier's hand. It would be easy if you make the gate the instant entrance. Especially with the incursion tech, it'd be super easy. And I agree that it should be. They should try something like that. I think it'd be amazing. Yeah, but when we look back at why Kata was shit, it was because they listened way too much to Reddit and forums. I don't think they listened to it back then. I think back then, Blizzard didn't give a shit about what anybody said. Blizzard's a very elite company, or was for a long time. And I think most of the time, honestly, 90% of the time, I don't think any of them ever gave a shit what the players said. I think caring about what the player base says and feels is a very recent development, because most of the time the player base was wrong. They started to be more correct lately, but they were pretty fucking wrong back then. Well, the player base was for a long time. Like, don't get me wrong. The devs knew what we wanted and how to give it, but the player base did eventually start to know more about more about what they wanted than the devs would give them credit for, and then eventually we had that shift that walked back to giving the players what they want. I have a feeling they're going to either stick with 20 man or walk it back to 10 man due to player feedback. I don't. So, where is it? Yeah, the player base is full of shit a lot of times. I don't want to say a few times, but a lot of times. Just 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. Yeah, this is my doggo. He's a good boy. Come here. Come, come on. He's a good boy. Come here. Yes, you are. You're such a good boy. Come on. He's a good boy. Yes, he is. Look at him. Look at my doggo. He's so cute. Get out to the camera. Good boy. Yes, you are. Such a good boy. Look at him. He's such a good dog. He is honestly man's best friend. This is my best friend right here. He's my best friend, isn't he? Such a good dog. I don't want you to get. He's such a good boy. He just wants love and attention. That's all he wants. He's super needy. He's such a needy dog. He doesn't like it when he doesn't have my attention. Such a good boy. Yes, you are. So pretty. Such a pretty dog. This is a Catahoula leopard dog. Honestly, this is my new favorite dog breed. I will only be getting Catahoulas from now on. They're amazing dogs. Honestly, they're so smart, they're loving, they're loyal, they're sweet. It's a good boy. Go on, bed. Alrighty. Let me see where I was. Oh, Remix is out though. Let me see. I'm just updating WoW Remix real quick. While Remix is updating, I gotta go talk to my son for a second. Alrighty. Okay, let me see what chat's saying. Is he good at raccoon hunting? We used to have one for that when I was a kid. I don't know if he's good at raccoon hunting. I've never taken him raccoon hunting. I'm not really like a raccoon hunter or anything like that. Never even thought about doing that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Last girlfriend had a cat. I miss her. The dog, not the girl element. Yeah, that's fair. I can understand that. Not every ex is good. Some are better than others, as they would say. But we are going to start playing WoW Remix right now. So I'm still going to be talking about like Season of Discovery, the next seasons and all that stuff. But I do want to try out WoW Remix and see how it is. So okay. Game capture. Yeah, I gotta accept the social contract. I accept. God, that's loud. Holy shit. Create time runner. Can I pick my server? Retrieving realm. New players. That's a lot of servers. Most of them are low population though. Okay. Where should I play? Yo, chat, recommend me a server. I could also lower the game's volume because it's fucking deafening. Audio, master volume. System. There we go. That's so much better. My fucking ears started ringing. Holy shit. Okay. So, change realm. I am going to pick... Is there no... Oh, there's no PvP servers anymore. I forgot that. Every server is normal. You just got to enable war mode now. That's hilarious. I like this server's name here. Scarlet Crusade is a cool server. Where is it? Is it one of the new ones? RP ROM. Moonguard is full and Windrest the Quarter is full. I guess I have a lot of characters on Windrest. I guess I'll just play on Windrest. Create a time runner. Let's see. What do I want to play? I want to try a new druid. What classes can druids forward side? Oh. I've already done Vulpura. The fuck? I did Mechagnome and Vulpura. What do you mean? Why don't I have Mechagnome and Vulpura anymore? I've unlocked both of them. That's kind of stupid that I don't have them for some reason. Blood Elf is a good old trusty. Let's do Draenei. Warlock. Customize. They added the Minari skin, right? How do you unlock the Minari, like the... I thought they added like the Minari skins. I actually really like the elegant one, hair color. Orgath. These are my favorites. Long ornate jewelry color. That's pretty. I swear to God, I thought Minari was a thing now. What happened to Minari? Let me see something. Yeah, they are. Oh, the Seeing Red questline patch. Okay, so I gotta unlock that shit later. So I'll come back to making a warlock. Let's do a Zandalari troll. Let's do druid. Customize. How do I change gender? I gotta click up here. I'm not used to this new UI, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This new UI feels wonky. Okay, let's just do this real quick so we can just jump in and see how it feels. I don't know if this is gonna be any fun. I know a lot of people tried this and everyone just had like an okay time with it. Let me change the skin color. That sounds so racist when I say that. Okay. Ebonheart. That name is taken. Okay, fuck me. So I can't use Ebonheart. Let's go with... You know, fuck it. I'm going on to a different server. Fuck. That's upsetting me. That's very upsetting. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe Moon God has an open spot. I'm just going to do a very quick customization because I know exactly what I want now. The fuck? It's taken on every server. That's some stupid shit. That's actually genuinely upsetting, guys. Okay, fuck it. We'll just... that's what it is, I guess. Upsetting, but let's just move on. Let's just jump into this. Okay, close enough. There we go. Ah, fuck, I chose Shaman. God, I'm not good at this shit. I haven't made a retail character in so long. Shit's fucking frustrating. Apologies for making everybody wait 50 fucking minutes for me to do this shit. Rude. There we go. And then we can dive into this shit together. There we go. Rude. Okay. Let's jump into this shit. And let's see how WoW Remix is. If WoW Remix is actually good game mode. If it's actually fun to play. That's the middle right there. I don't know if this is actually going to be fun. A few of my content creator friends tried the game mode out, and a lot of them said that it was very mediocre at best. Like, it wasn't boring, but it was very mediocre. And I don't know if it's actually like a game mode that people would care about. Classic Plus when? Honestly, Classic Plus, whenever Blizzard gets there, we are waiting. And we are not even close. But the player base demands Classic Plus, and we will get it eventually. I know we will get it eventually. It's just going to be a while before we do get it. And this is a very long loading screen. Why did you have to develop a Slacker? Because I was limited in what I was allowed to ask them, sadly. I know everyone wanted me to ask more Classic Plus Season of Discovery questions. But tragically, to not get my ass blacklisted, I chose. Holy shit, that's laggy. How does this work? God, this is lagging. Jesus Christ. Why is retail so fucking laggy? Holy shit. Where the fuck are you meant to go? I don't fucking get this. Am I just meant to go into this portal over here? Like the fuck? Okay, well this is actually kind of dog shit. The fuck are you meant to do? Guys, so I can't actually play this right now. So many people have tried to log in that you can't actually do anything. So I am going to play this on another stream. I'm just going to exit game here. I can't exit the game actually. I actually have to Control Shift Escape and close it from the Okay, well that actually may have crashed my PC. Give me a second, people. We're just gonna go back to talking about Season of Discovery and upcoming game modes. Because Jesus fucking Christ, that was... There we go, okay. Yeah, apologies for that, like, waste of time right there. That was 20 minutes of time wasted that we just won't be getting back. But we'll be fine. We're just going to continue on as if nothing happened. And we're going to keep discussing some more shit. So, let's actually start discussing potential seasons. One thing I'm genuinely struggling with though, and it's a hard thing for me to wrap my head around, is how long will they do seasons? Seasons can't last forever. If we have 18 months per season, hypothetically, say 18 months for a season, and after that's done, you have to just jump to a new season. Eventually the player base is going to burn out, so they have maybe 2, maybe 3 seasons to do. Like, there's a difference between a 3-month-long Mists of Pandaria remix versus the 18-month-long season where you lose everything or it gets retired to an error server by the end of it. And so my major concern with this is, okay, we're getting new content, but they can't put off Classic Plus for very long. And that's one thing that at least me personally, I'm struggling with comprehending is, did that actually be a good alternative exo? That would honestly be a better alternative than doing a new season. So it would just be I didn't mean to delete that. With balance in PvP, why don't they nerf shamans like they did with Druid Star Surge? Because shaman's baseline kit operates differently. To nerf shaman, they'd have to nerf their raw damage. Nerfing the spell that won't do as much. They'd also have to gut them at several different levels for that to work correctly, if that makes sense. It wouldn't just be a matter of if you do this, it's suddenly done. It would genuinely be a matter of you would have to gut shaman to nerf them correctly because of the amount of buffs that have been laid on top of them. So that would honestly be a very solid way of doing it, Exo. I do think they could do this. Realistically, I think to maximize the amount of money they make, they're probably not going to do this. I think this doesn't generate maximum revenue, so it'll likely be a whole new season starting from fresh. I just have to put all of our Sword Tunes on Classic Plus. I would hate to have my Sword Tunes without runes gone from my meta lock. They might do that in the future, Giga, where after like a 3-month or 6-month period, all your Sword characters get transferred over, like your Sword, your Season of Monsters or whatever comes next, and all that stuff just gets transferred over to Kata client. But I think if the Kata client's going to operate on a whole new client, I mean not Kata, the Classic Plus client, I don't know if they'd ever let that happen. Your characters would always stay on that classic era, like that Sword era client or server. But I think for most people, it's just not going to be coming. I think it's going to stay there, period, in the story. And every new character will have to be leveled from scratch. Give players more nature resist. That would work in theory, but that would also minimize AQ. So they'd have to increase AQ bosses or all the nature damage bosses' nature damage drastically to compensate. It's just so many little things lead to other problems and other issues Blizzard's best case is just to keep adding resilience. Because the resilience doesn't mitigate how like they don't do that much damage in PvE. For PvP, you just add that resilience buff. Maybe they do a targeted resilience damage nerf just to shamans. I don't know if they can add that, but maybe there's a toggle they can do where they just think all shamans PvP damage 20% reduction on top of the base resilience debuff anyways. But that's about the only thing they could really do in the grand scheme of things, I guess. But like situating buffs and nerfs across the board is not something that's easily done. At least not how I would say it would work, at least. It'd take more effort than just simply applying a base nature resistance debuff. But no, overall, across the board, these new seasons are amazing. I have to cook up a lot of stuff over this weekend, and I have a lot of things that are cooking. On Monday's stream, I have a whole thing I'm going to show people. It's going to be some amazing shit. I'm really excited about the future of the game. And I am hoping Agrant gets back either tomorrow or on Monday and gives us some blue posts or some like tweets so people can calm the fuck down. But I just want to say thank you to everybody for watching. I am going to end the stream in a minute. But before I do end the stream, please make sure you go follow my Twitch. And if you are already following my Twitch, please make sure you go follow my Twitter. I do post on Twitter a bit. Also, please check out the second channel. It's mostly just videos that are clips from the stream uploaded straight to that. So if you guys do want to support me, drop a Twitch Prime on Twitch, become a YouTube member. Any of that stuff does help, and I always appreciate the help everybody gives me. It's thanks to you guys that I even get to do this stuff. We will be having a much more in-depth discussion on the concept of Classic and about the upcoming changes for mostly Phase 4. So on Monday's stream, we're going to be doing a very in-depth Phase 4 deep dive, because I'm very sure that Phase 4 info is dropping sometime next week. But once again, I just want to say thank you to everybody. You guys are amazing. Thank you very much for the follow, Breach6. I appreciate that. But for now, I'm ending the stream. Thank you, everybody. Eberhard out. I will see you guys on Monday. Have a lovely weekend. Have a lovely Friday. Peace, everyone. Love y'all.